Blog Talk Radio.
Across the country and around the world, streaming live on the internet, it's Real Estate Coaching Radio, bringing you the latest news, interviews, and secrets of the top producers. Hosted by award-winning real estate coaches, Tim and Julie Harris.
Okay, we are back. Welcome back to Real Estate Coaching Radio with your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris. Sorry for the slight delay. We are having a little bit of connection issues. A lot of people are listening to the radio show live now, and as a result of that, it does cause sometimes some delays, and I apologize for those of you who had a hard time getting on as well. So what is Real Estate Coaching Radio? It is the only real estate agent-centric coaching program that we are focused purely on agents. Our primary focus is to help you guys. The purpose of the radio show is to give you the information, you the tools to move your business forward as quickly as possible. And that's what we do every single radio show, every single day from 2 to 2:30 Central Time. Of course, if you're on the West Coast, that would be from noon to 12:30. So the goal of Real Estate Coaching Radio is to really challenge you, to open your eyes to the opportunities that are in the marketplace now. It is our belief, and I think that I can really prove it to you, that we are at the very beginning stages of what will be a 7-year boom. Not a bubble, a boom. In other words, real estate is coming back. Real estate is going to continue to make a big comeback. And for the next 7 years, if you have your mind open to it, you're going to experience the best real estate market of your entire career. For those of you who are new in the real estate business, well, you should be extra excited about this because, frankly, your timing is perfect. You know, it's kind of funny when I was doing pre-coaching calls for a lot of you guys who are getting into real estate, that really could have only been the height of the bust. And it's sort of like I felt like saying half the time to some of you guys, by the way, have you not been reading the news? Real estate is experiencing a big crash right now, and you're just getting into the business. But the truth is that was a great time to get in the market, too, provided you were in the distressed end of things because there was so much opportunity. Now, let's be clear because there's been a lot of I had a staff call yesterday, and they were passing along to me some of the concerns that some of you guys had. I think really concerns maybe is an overstatement. It's more of misunderstanding. Depending on where you are in the market, and depending on where you are in the country, rather, and what your individual market is like, you could be experiencing a continuation of the real estate correction. It could just feel like it did 5 years ago, or you could be feeling like it did back in the bubble. I mean, honestly, the country is really recovering at incredibly different rates, and I think that's really going to create a bifurcated market like we've never seen before, where there really are going to be real estate haves and have-nots. So let's be clear. There's always been a huge difference between the markets in L.A., the markets in Arizona, the markets in certain parts of Florida, the markets in Austin, Texas, the markets in Seattle, the markets in San Jose, the markets in, say, Manhattan. There always have been real estate markets in the country that have done fantastically well. That's true now. It'll always be true. Way better than the rest of the country. I remember when Julie and I were selling real estate in Columbus, Ohio, there would be a news story that came on CNN, or there would be a newspaper article about the real estate markets are doing, this is back before the real estate bubble. This is back in the 90s into the early 2000s. And so, the real estate markets nationwide, home values have appreciated whatever percent. I remember having to go on listing appointments with sellers in Columbus, Ohio, where they would have the article in their mind, if not in their hands, and say, hey, Tim, we've been in this house, 5 years, and according to CNN, our house is appreciated by 8% year over year. Then you got to kind of slow them down and explain to them, well, you know what, that might be true for the nation on a whole, but here in Columbus, Ohio, houses appreciate typically about 3% per year. Now, that was a long time ago, but guess what? That is still the average appreciation rate in Columbus, Ohio. We moved out of Columbus ages ago, almost 10 years ago, but still, it's the same exact market that there's always been. Now, if you look at a market like, for example, Las Vegas, if you want to talk about a crazy market, Las Vegas dropped in value by over 50%. Over 50%. Think about that for a second. Paid $300,000 for a condo, maybe $320,000. It was worth in the bottom of the market, those places, exact numbers I'm telling you, were selling for $80,000, $75,000, $65,000. Think about that for depreciation. So what happened is the market has, in Vegas as an example, last year alone was the hottest market in terms of just appreciation. So the properties have increased in value in Vegas last year by almost 30%. So I want you guys to put all the pieces together, what I've just said. It's 30% off what was already a very depressed property values. So it doesn't mean that the homes are worth necessarily what people paid for them back in the bubble. They're still underwater. They're still basically suffering from a lot of negative equity. That's the case in many parts of the country. So we're hearing about all this wonderful home value increasing, all this appreciation that's happening. But the reality of it is still in many parts of the country, it's still we're still very much dealing with the fallout from the real estate recession. Julie, are you on the line?
I am.
Okay.
I am. And I was just thinking my next private coaching call, one of my advanced students right after this, is with Jane Armstrong in Vegas.
Ah.
And, it's interesting. If you had said, years ago, are you aware that there can actually be a market where you have both short sales and foreclosures and multiple offers at the same time? Kind of interesting, kind of an odd thing to look at, right? But Jane is a good example of that. She's still dealing with quite a few short sales, and yet every time she puts something on the market, because they have low inventory, she gets multiple offers. So it can be very confusing to agents. On the one hand, we feel like, gosh, there's all this bubbling up. There's lots of back in the market, all those people that did short sales 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Now they're coming back. We've got investors coming back. We have all of this demand, and yet we still have some low inventory. And prices, you were talking about Vegas. Certainly they had that plummeting prices and still haven't recovered to pre-boom levels. Parts of Florida, same thing. Those condos, 1,000 that plummeted down to 30 or 40,000. And that doubled to 60 last year, but it's still not 300.
That's right.
So you really have to know your own micro market. And I remember, Tim, you were using an example of Columbus where we would go on those listing appointments and the sellers would be like, well, what about me? Where's my appreciation? I have this great article. And in most areas it was just keeping up with inflation. But even in Columbus there were micro markets, like that little Rosemary area in Clintonville that everybody loved to have listings there.
Sherman Village was like that.
That's right, where if it was 7 days on the market, there must be something wrong with it.
That's right.
So that even within your own markets, you have micro markets, and that's why we always advise you and coach you to do lots of previewing and studying, absorption rate studies, all that kind of stuff that we work on in coaching with you. It really matters not just to you, but especially to your sellers in your next listing appointment.
It's easy to put yourself in a bubble and not realize that you're in the bubble. The bubble might be your neighborhood. The bubble might be your city. The bubble might be who knows what. You got to get outside of your immediate market, and you really got to go to the MLS. I mean, that's the greatest tool, and to really look for the trends. If your market in your individual city is not feeling like it's going to make a comeback, consider changing markets. Guys, you can do that in every community. There are great markets, little great housing markets, and there are ones that are stale or they're depreciating. All kinds of different reasons why, and we can talk about that with you on a free coaching call, how to know what kind of market you're in. So go to freecoachingcallsforagents.com. And by the way, the topic of today's show is what to expect from your free coaching call, and we've got some great points to share with you. The moral of the story is, guys, is you've really got to be a market expert, not just someone who claims to be a market expert. And the only way to do that is to be able to climb into the MLS, and truly understand the statistics so that you can be – some of you are driving yourself nuts because you're trying to list houses in markets where basically the buyer demand is falling off. So many different contributing factors, neighborhoods, communities, cities, they go from being fashionable to unfashionable, trendy to not trendy. I was having a great coaching call this morning with a wonderful gal here in Austin, Texas, and one of my new coaching clients, and love coaching her, great energy and enthusiasm, wonderful person, going to be extremely successful, no doubt in my mind. And she was telling me that she's been, get this, Julie, visiting all the new builders, talking with all the new reps, and she didn't know that all of them are building tons and tons of specs. So she said that probably in the next 60 to 90 days, there are going to be a ton of specs that are going to hit the market. And when that happens, the resale is going to take it on the chin in a big way. And she said nobody's talking about it. The realtors don't know what's going on. Nobody knows that these builders are basically going to be putting literally, potentially hundreds of homes for sale in Austin, Texas, which has been one of the best real estate markets in the country. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to tell you exactly what you should be expecting from your free coaching call, because I know a lot of you are free coaching call curious, but you're just afraid to make the commitment. So when we come back, we're going to talk about what to expect from your free coaching call. Please pay attention.
Is coaching right for you? And how can I guarantee it will work for me? Chances are you are asking yourself those questions right now. I'll answer those critical questions for you in just a moment. But first, let's be honest about something you may have always suspected. You've probably always known that the nation's top 1% of realtors, you know, those millionaire agents you see on TV, they possess a secret knowledge that the other 99% of agents do not have. Where did they learn what they know? And more importantly, how did they learn how to put this closely guarded information into money-making action? It's simple. They have a coach. Not just any coach. The nation's mega millions, top 1% of the realtors know that in order to maintain their almost unfair advantage, that they must have their own personal coach. A proven, market-tested coach who has truly walked in their shoes, a coach who has worked with many of the nation's leading agents. At this point, you're probably ready to maybe try coaching. However, you don't want to be unfairly locked into a long-term ball and chain that coaching contracts can give you. It just makes sense that you should be able to try it before you buy it. Even more importantly, you want to have a coach who is the best of the best. Not someone who is simply assigned to you, or even worse, has never sold real estate. Can you imagine? If this is you, I have something for you right now that is exactly what you have been looking for. For the next 48 hours, Tim and Julie Harris Real Estate Coaching is offering you a free coaching call. This is a real coaching call with a real Tim and Julie Harris coach. Now, while you are thinking about it, why don't you visit us online at freecoachingcallsforagents.com to get started. Once again, that is freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Now, let's be clear. This exclusive coaching opportunity is only available for the first 50 realtors who are stone cold serious about their real estate business and know that in order to succeed at the highest level, they must hire a coach. So don't wait any longer. Take action now and visit us again at freecoachingcallsforagents.com to schedule your free coaching call. Again, that's freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Thanks so much. See y'all soon.
Okay, we are back. So we are talking today about what to expect from your free coaching call. Now, again, as Rochelle was just saying, go to freecoachingcallsforagents.com and request your free coaching call. It's quick, it's painless. But let's be clear, this is not probably what a lot of you are expecting. A free coaching call, and we're going to go through 3 things, or actually 4 things a free coaching call isn't, and then we're going to talk about 3 things. Actually, I'm going to do it in the opposite direction. We're going to say what a free coaching call is, 4 points, and then we're going to talk about what a free coaching call isn't. So, Julie, do you want to do the is's or the isn'ts first?
Let's do what it is first.
Okay, good. Well, then we're going to end kind of negative. So why don't we do the isn't?
Okay, you're right. Let's do the isn'ts first.
Besides, the isn'ts are more fun,
That'll clear the air.
Okay. All right, so a free coaching call. Okay, when you request your free coaching call, you're going to go to the website. You're going to pick the coach. Julie and I are keeping ourselves up there that you want to have your free coaching call with. You're going to literally schedule yourself. There's nothing else to do. That's it. It'll take you 5 seconds. So when you do that, you're going to be scheduled with your Tim and Julie Harris Real Estate Coaching coach, and then you're going to have a half-hour one-on-one coaching call. So number one, what a free coaching call isn't, it's a real coaching call. It's not a sales call. It's not some person that's going to try to sell you some widget. This is a real coaching call, and the real objective of this coaching call is obviously to help you create a plan, which I'm going to talk about when we get to the what it is section of today's call. Number two, what it isn't. A free coaching call is not a fluff call with no real information. A free coaching call, the point of a free coaching call is, whether you're a student or not, to be honest with you, is to do everything we can during that 30-minute free session to get you focused, to get you into action. Some of you, heck, all of you know that the real estate markets are making a powerful comeback. In some cases, maybe not as powerful as they are in others, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was a few years ago. I'm sure all of you can agree with me on that. So what a free coaching call is, the second point, is it's not a fluff call. It's real information. And Julie has some points, too, she wants to make. But the third thing a free coaching call is not a trip down the same road you've already been 1,000 times before. We're not going to tell you all the things that everyone else is telling you. Matter of fact, the last thing we're going to talk with you about on your free coaching call is how to build your team. That will not come up on a free coaching call. Well, in some cases it will, but in 99% of the time it won't, because most of you, that's the last thing you should be thinking about. Julie, what else won't be happening on a free coaching call?
Well, we're not going to be talking about all of the stuff that you think is wrong with you, that's holding you back, why you haven't been able to make any progress. You wouldn't be asking for a free coaching call if you didn't want to make a breakthrough. You've already been around and around and around, some of you guys, with convincing yourselves. I had a call with a gal that, she thought that because she was never going to be a hardcore cold caller, that she was in tears after going to it was like a small seminar, webinar, actually it was a live event. And she had been convinced that if she was not going to be a hardcore prospector, that it must be time for her to get out of real estate. And this is after a 12-year career where she was making more than $50,000 a year very consistently, but she wanted to get from 50 to 100 and was told by someone else that unless she was going to strap herself to the phone and call FSBOs all day long, then she must not be the right personality for this. And so, I was not going to allow her to continue to think there was something wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her. So my question to her is, what is she willing to do, and where has that $50,000 of consistent income come from, and how can we monetize more of that just as a basis? So we're not going to talk about 101 reasons why you can't do something. I'm not doing that.
Here's our theory on mindset. Okay, this is very important, and all of you guys remember that. What I'm about to say, mindset and motivation. You can go to a motivational seminar. A lot of you guys are kind of addicted to the whole external motivation thing. You can read a book. You can do all kinds of things to pump yourself up. It doesn't last. The whole motivation thing, the whole motivational speaker thing is from the 80s. It became really popular in the 90s. And now there's a lot of people in the real estate coaching and training space that are trying to act like Anthony Robbins. You guys know who I'm talking about. They're literally saying the same things and doing the same things. They are trying to be mini Anthony Robbins. That's not what we're about. And you will feel motivated. Here's the secret for long-term motivation: from the results from your actions. You will not feel motivated ultimately. You're not supposed to feel motivated ultimately unless you're getting into action and getting results. And that's what we focus on. So when Julie says we're not going to be focusing a lot on your mindset or your story, it's not because we don't care. It's because we know ultimately to help you, we have to get you into action. So please be clear about that. And, we're not going to probably talk about teams. We're not going to talk about buying buyer leads. We're not going to talk about all the little things that are trendy right now, because we know ultimately what it takes to get you guys into action, and that's where all of our best energies on your free coaching call are going to go.
And let me clarify, too. It's not that we don't believe in the motivational stuff. That's great. We love it when you're super ultra-motivated. And, Tim, you spend a lot of time putting motivational videos on our blog, Real Estate Insider News, every single day. So, of course, we believe in that. But you've got to take action behind that. And if you want proof, ask yourself, how much more motivated would you feel and how healthy would your mindset be if you had 3 closings this week or 3 more closings this week for some of you guys?
That's right.
That just changed your mindset instantly, didn't it?
Well, it's the whole thing. If you're not feeling good, go take a listing. If you've had a bad day, go take a listing. If you want motivation, go take a listing.
And that will always be true at any level of business that you're doing.
A lot of you are living in the belief that you have to wait your turn to be listing agents, or you have to wait your turn to list expensive real estate. None of that's true. You can absolutely positively create your own path, follow your own set of rules, and really design your business around your lifestyle, opposed to your lifestyle having to be designed around your business. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the fun stuff, what a free coaching call is. So these are 4 points, and I'm going to go through these relatively quick. But a free coaching call is going to be, for a lot of you, a lot of questions. when I get one of you guys, or Julie gets one of you, or one of the coaches gets one of you on a free coaching call, we're going to ask a lot of probing questions. Now, we're going to ask permission to ask the questions first. I'm going to say something like, is it okay I am direct with you, or is it okay I ask questions that might make you uncomfortable? And then we're going to really dig into what's going on in your business and your personal life. Remember, we're business coaches. We're not going to be talking, there's not going to be any kind of cathartic moment about anything other than making money. That's what our focus is. Because really, if you're making money, if you're in action making money, everything else has a tendency to improve. So there are going to be lots of questions, lots of, personal questions that are going to be designed so that we can understand what happens next. And what happens next, point number 2, what a free coaching call is, a specific plan designed just for you. It's not a script. When you call us, we're not reading from a script. We're not essentially prescribing the same thing to every one of you. We're not telling you to do the same things that everyone are telling you. Some of you shouldn't be calling your centers of influence and past clients, believe it or not. Some of you, over-the-phone prospecting isn't going to work. How about this? This is a mind bender. Some of you, the last thing that we coach you to do is follow a schedule. That's kind of blowing your mind, isn't it? Everybody else is saying the exact same thing. And the reason that they're telling you the exact same thing is because they don't know how to tell you how to do anything else. The prospecting guy is going to tell you to prospect. The Center of Influence Past Client guy is going to tell you to, guess what? Mail your Centers of Influence and Past Clients, do pop-ins, things like that. The direct marketing guy is going to tell you to run ads that are designed to get people to call you. That's all they know. They're one-trick ponies. It's not right for everyone. Think back to Julie's example that she just gave you about the gal who didn't want to prospect. I mean, Julie, honestly, have you ever had 2 free coaching calls in a row that were the same?
Never. And I caution our listeners, if you are talking to somebody who is either your current coach or someone who you are considering as a coach, and they're not asking you tons of questions about yourself, your tendencies, your market, your personality, your price ranges, your past real estate history, your past pre-real estate history, I would question what's going on there. Is somebody cookie-cuttering you? Is that really going to work for you? I know, if I paid somebody as a coach and they just did the same thing that they did on their next client, I'm not sure I would want to pay for that.
Yes. Okay, so that's an excellent point. Next point that we wrote down on what a coaching call is. By the way, guys, Julie just said something, though she's doing it and saying it nicely. I'm going to say it a little bit more directly. Maybe they're not asking you these questions because they're not real coaches, and you've found yourself on a phone call with someone who's not an actual coach, who doesn't have any real experience in selling real estate, who's a salesperson that's just trying to sell you something, some little widget or bauble in a box, okay? That happens all the time. Our free coaching calls are real free coaching calls.
Well, I mean, honestly, that is easier than what we do. I mean, we work pretty hard on our coaching calls for our clients. I don't know about you, but I feel like we almost live vicariously. When they take a listing, I feel like it's our listing too.
Oh, absolutely. It's our listing fix that we used to get when we go on listings ourselves. All right, number 3, you're going to get, when you request your free coaching call, motivation, because you're going to believe in the plan that we just created together. It's not us telling you, it's us working together with you to create a plan, and because you're going to be confident that you're going to be able to get it into action. So as we just said, we don't need to drill down on it anymore, but the motivation is going to come from the action that you're going to take because you're going to believe in the plan that we just co-created for you. And the 4th thing I wrote down, this is very important, you're going to get a specific plan as part of your business plan about specific leads you should be pursuing and the fact that you need to be focusing on money and what the most dollar-productive activities are in your business. Again, everybody's different. Some of you might have a phenomenal opportunity at expanding a property management business. Some of you might be still in the depths of the real estate recession and you're still having to wade through distressed property. Others of you, and we're seeing a lot more of you, on the West Coast, on the East Coast, are in these markets that are just accelerating in value so rapidly that you can barely keep pace with the appreciation. And most of you are going to be somewhere in the middle. So the reality of it is there is no coaching call that's going to be the same as another. All of you guys are different. You're at different stages of your lives. You're at different stages of experience. You're different. Maybe some of you are bringing executive experience from other businesses to this industry. Maybe some of you have no previous background whatsoever. It doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, all of our coaches are versatile enough to create plans that are going to be specific for your strengths and, let's be honest, are going to help you to overcome and get over your weaknesses. We love doing free coaching calls. I strongly encourage all of you to go to freecoachingcallsforagents.com, freecoachingcallsforagents.com. We book up fast, obviously. We have a lot of demand for our free coaching calls. Julie and I only do a handful a day. So, do what's smart. Take action. Freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Hey, guess what? The total cost for a free coaching call is
free.
All right? So, Julie, any closing thoughts?
Well, I mean, you expect to have an action plan when you walk away.
Yes, absolutely. But also expect to get into action. That's the main thing. This is not going to just be something where it's not a buy a friend or get to know each other. This is, okay, I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to know how I'm going to do it. So your homework from this call today, guys, is I want you to go to freecoachingcallsforagents.com. And, hey, let's talk. Let's see what we can do to help you move your business and personal life forward, and we'll talk with you tomorrow.
See you then.
This program has been a presentation by Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching. For more information on our real estate coaching and training programs, visit our website at timandjulieharris.com. Remember to tune in weekdays at noon for upcoming shows, and until next time, thank you for listening to Real Estate Coaching Radio with Tim and Julie Harris.